The new song from the Dandy Warhols has just been released 3 days ago. I'd like to help you with your problem. Let's talk a little bit about this film clip, mate.
Yes, let's talk about the film clip. Let's. I mean, the song as well is all right. I think that it's interesting to hear Dandy Warhols collaborate with Slash. Let's be honest. But a couple of days ago, I sent you the link to the film clip. Watched it for the first time, and mate, the thing that has struck me about it, this is, I guess, why we're talking about this, to be quite honest. The thing that has struck me is that there was a robot android, I don't know what you call it, on the beach. The first thing you see, then you see this massive boat, and you're going, okay, I guess they're Dandy Warhols Slash, they're going all in with the big hit. Okay, and I thought, look, that might have passed the Dandy Warhols. Fair enough. It looks like they've spent a bit of money on this production. And it goes on, and then what you're seeing about 30 seconds in is a bit of an aha moment in that the band emerged. And I think the first thing you're wanting to see is, look, he's Slash in the band. Okay, so the band are on the beach. And then it hits you that this isn't a real thing. This is AI that is being used. And the reason why, it's very apparent, like the faces are disconfigured. It just doesn't look like real people, but it looks very, very close to it. And then it keeps going on. So you see a crowd of people emerge on the beach, on the shore. You see the band playing, or a band, again, all sort of, either the faces are disconfigured, or you see the back of people's heads. And you see this boat, and it ends up being, the boat ends up exploding, whilst the song takes place. So the song's really, really cool, very dramatic, but I don't know. Is this an art form into itself, Al? Are we seeing something here that is really going to be, I guess, a time capsule, if you like, of what we're able to do as a technology in 2023, 24?
Geez, that's a great question, mate. And first of all, the Dandy Warhols have always been really quite artistic with their film clips. And gone are the days where bands are really putting a lot of effort and or expense into film clips. So first of all, congratulations to the Dandy Warhols for having a go. But like you, mate, I kind of got 30, 45 seconds into the song. First of all, it's a heavier song featuring Slash, so it's kind of cool, different kind of direction there. But in terms of the film clip itself, it has a unique AI look about it. And you mentioned the idea of a time capsule. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think with the fact that there's all this new stuff coming out that's going to supersede this particular style pretty quickly, whether or not it was a deliberate act by the Dandy Warhols to try and do a film clip to kind of capture this moment or not, it'll be seen, I think, in years to come, to go, that was that particular period and piece. And look, let's be honest, mate, bands can't afford to have 500 people hoo-haing on a beach and blowing up a ship. So those comments that are kind of out there on this particular film clip talking about that, a lack of employment and all this kind of stuff, well, it's going to be shifting in a different direction, isn't it? People still need to be creative,
Exactly right. Look, I think it just so happened this was released in the same week that Sora had been released. So for anyone who doesn't know what Sora is, it's the brand new AI that OpenAI are promoting. There are going to be others that are doing similar things. And what you're seeing is that all of a sudden there's a step jump from what we're able to do in 2023/now compared to what you're going to be able to do in 2024. And you can see that there's a lot more sophistication in what this AI technology is going to be able to do. So it felt as if, really, with the technology that the Dandy Warhols and their creative partners had to produce it, this is probably the best that could have been created. But it feels to me that we're not going to see things quite in this way anymore. So it's almost akin to some of the stuff we saw in the 80s with music videos, right, with maybe your Michael Jackson's Thriller, where there's sort of storylines that people are trying to tell within the song. It became a little bit looser, I think, in the 90s, and then eventually just people sort of felt like they gave up, and quite frankly, from 2000 onwards. But that's very interesting. But I think that, for me, the second question is this technology, look, and I think you came back to it, no one can afford 500 people now. No one can afford 500
that's right.
people. So is this going to save the music video art form? I think there's potential for it to really be used in a really, really creative way for things like music videos that only go for 3 or 4 minutes.
And I think that you've hit the nail on the head. Like, it all comes down to the input data, doesn't it? It's the creative genius, whoever's creating these film clips, is going to inspire as to how it's going to turn out. So if you're creating a film clip where there's a boat on a beach that explodes and a band that comes out that doesn't look overly real, it's not going to be overly good. But let's cast back 20, 30 years to bands that experimented in different ways and probably didn't cop too much flack for their innovation, like the song Take On Me by Aha. I mean, that was a cartoon. That didn't cop too much flack. That was seen as being innovative. So I think it comes down to whoever's coming up with these ideas. I mean, you've got a band that we mentioned a lot on here, the Smashing Pumpkins, and they were absolutely renowned for their film clips. Even later on, like during the Adore era, they were hugely expensive and fantastic and elaborate, but they were a massive band who had a massive income. The Dandy Warhols, kind of 10 albums deep, even though they've got a massive following, don't have the cash to do this, mate.
I agree. Look, and I think that, you even look at that Aha music video. I mean, it's almost 40 years old. I think it's coming up to 40 years old
40,
now.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have cost the music companies a tremendous amount of money to be able to do that. These days, you can almost do that, I think, with sort of basic equipment. But I think that I think the idea is, I think there's tremendous opportunity for this to be used in music videos and really bringing ideas to life. And I think that this whole concept, you're taking away people's jobs. I don't know if it's quite that. I think it's more that the barriers to entry and the barriers to be able to produce something spectacular have now been lowered. So all of a sudden, you've got an indie band, or you've got a band that might be just a little bit off Broadway, who can actually produce some of this stuff in an affordable way, which I think is quite exciting.
I could not agree more. You imagine you're just told you can create anything you want linked to this particular song. Like, there's no real budget because it's going to cost the same as it would for any particular style of video. So I'm excited, mate. I don't know. I think it's we get to live in this time and place, mate. It's exciting. So, look, that's our very quick take on the new single from the Dandy Warhols featuring Slash and AI.